All right, so it's 8 o'clock and excuse me. So we shall start our session. Okay, so a very good evening to all the ladies and gentlemen here. So welcome to another FSM1 event where we help investors invest globally and profitably. Thank you so much for attending the webinar today. My name is Sid Hong and I will be your MC for tonight. Now, our topic of the day is why invest in global water equities now? And we are happy to have Miss Sharon Yap to be our speaker for today. So Miss Sharon Yap has joined BNP Paribas Asset Management Malaysia in 2021 as the Client Relationship Manager for Wholesale Distribution. She is responsible for strengthening and growing the distribution business in Malaysia. In her current position, she works closely with different regional teams in market to market the investment product to local distribution partners. Prior to this, Ms. Sharon was an investment specialist at RHB Bank and Maybank. Her role included constructing and reviewing the client's investment portfolio and co-managing selected ultra-high net worth clients with the bank's relationship manager. She has experience in the asset management space, where previously she was with M Invest and Hong Leong Asset Management, covering the agency, bank distribution channel, and institutional business. Sharon has over 18 years of experience in the asset management and banking industry. She holds a bachelor degree in economics from the University of Malaya in Malaysia. Now, before we start our session with Ms. Sharon, we have the representative of Manulife Investment Management, Ms. Sally, to give us an introduction. So in this introduction, she will be sharing the company background and also the fund structure. So Ms. Sally, the floor is yours.
Sure, thank you, Chit Hong. Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good day to you. I think I could like to thank the organizer, Fund Supermart, inviting us for this client events with the topic, why invest in global water equity now? So over here, right, you know that water is a source of life. Water also play a very important role on Earth. So water is a commodity. It's like gold, silver, copper, and oil. So before we start, let me walk through with you the Manulife company background. So as you are aware that Manulife have two business channels. One is the insurance, another one will be the asset management business. So you can see from here, we have more than 130 years financial experience in this industry. Yeah, we are the multinational company HQ at Toronto, Canada, with the global footprint across 19 countries and more than 600 investment professionals over the 4,500 employees. As you know, Manulife, we have this, move to the following slide. You can see that Manulife Global Aqua Fund have a strong partnership with 3 global financial institutions. The fund managed by Impact Asset Management Limited and also BNP Paribas Asset Management Luxembourg and backed by Manulife Investment Management Malaysia. Yeah, following the next slide, you can see that Manulife Global Aqua Fund by the name of BNP Paribas Aqua Share Class Euro. So we launched this Manulife Global Aqua Fund to capture from the growing global water, you can say water value change. And also this is the first aqua fund in the markets. So I'm going to share with you some of the fund details, fund structures as well. So you can see that the target fund actually is invest across the 3 broad sectors in the global water value change, water infrastructures, water treatment, and also the water utility. This is a retail feeder funds with the minimum investment of 1,000 and subsequent by the 100s. And this fund, right, we did offer you 4 currency classes for the investor. So you can see from the table here, we do have the RMH, USDH, OGH, Singapore H class. Okay, without any delay, let's welcome Sharon, the client portfolio relationship manager from BNP Paribas Malaysia, to share with us why you should invest in water. Over to you, Sharon. Thank you.
Thank you, Yiling, and thank you, Sally, for the kind introductions. I hope you can see my screen and hear my voice clearly.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Very good evening to all valued clients. Thanks for having me, and it's really precious to kind of like meet all of you today. I guess Sally just shared that, you know, water is kind of like part of our everyday life and is defined as the blue goal of today. So we are truly excited to have the opportunity to share the investment idea related to water strategies, the BNP Paribas funds, the BNP Paribas Aqua Fund we all today. And this is the target fund of Manulife Global Aqua Fund to you today. So in today's presentation, I will basically cover number one, why invest in global water value chain. Number two is really to share with you what are the drivers of water investing that will actually continue to drive the investment team further. And then I will walk you through on the target fund, and also we'll end the presentation with the Q&A. All right, before I talk about why invest in global water equity, let me walk you through on some of the key highlights of the target fund, BNP Paribas Aqua Fund. As you can see from a slide here, you know, BNP Paribas Aqua Funds really provide an opportunity for our clients to get exposure in a fund that invests globally in companies that actively a growing water value chain. There are always misconceptions that investing in water-related company is very narrow, focus only on utility, because we don't see much of the kind of like the water-related investment idea here in Malaysia. That is actually not true. In other than utilities companies, they are defensive in nature. The fund also invests in the high growth area, like in the area of water infrastructures and also water treatment. The investable universe also has grown to 1.3 trillion of market capitalizations, which actually our investment team can choose the best fit and invest into the fund. Second, as you can see here, the fund that we are going to share to you tonight in details in a short while is really a fund that having a very strong and solid track record. Since inception in 2015, the fund actually had generated an annualized return of close to 11%, as you can see here, and outperformed really on the MSCI World Index. The fund is also rated highly on the Morningstar with a 5-star overall rating, really kind of like recognizing the strong risk return reward for the funds delivered for our clients over the years. Third, the water strategies fund that we share today is also a very successful strategy in the area of sustainable and responsible investing. The fund is a SRI labels fund, where this SRI label so-called is a tool for selecting responsible and sustainable investment, and it created actually supported by the French Minister of Finance. It really aims to make sure the management of the fund is based on a very solid methodology with high degree of transparency and also providing quality in terms of information. And the fund is also a very successful strategy in terms of asset gathering as well, given the strong catalyst in water investing that I'm going to share with you later, and also the solid track record that the fund delivers since the launch. We see inflow from investors all over the world, and the AUM for the fund size now is over 7 billion. With a partnership with Manulife Investment, we are pleased, you know, to bring the fund here to our Malaysian investor now. And last but not least, is worth mentioning that when it comes to the management of this fund, you need somehow that have strong know-how and expertise in identify the company in water sectors. And our investment team on these strategies has an average experience of 20 years, and that also managing an asset of around $60 billion in total. Or if you can see on the next slide, you know, the water equity really offer a very favorable returns profile for our clients. Here we look at the S&P Global Water Index over the last 19 years. The blue line in the graph, as you can see here, an investor who had $100 invested in 2003 in water equity would have actually grown to 823 right now. And over the same period, looking at the annualized return of S&P Global Water Index, it had delivered an annualized return of 11.57 versus 7.7% kind of annualized return in global equity, and also kind of like close to 9% US 9% annualized return of US equity. Very favorable returns on that side. Of course, you know, when we come to investment, you know, we also need to consider the risk elements as well, right? So in terms of the risk-adjusted returns of the global water equities is can see from the slide here is very superior risk return profile as well, and clearly it's worth to really consider to allocate some money in our investment into the water strategies. And we believe that really the water thematic investing has a place in terms of allocation in our investment. And to further support this case, we have here showing a chart that telling you that traditional equity classes like the global equity, the APAC, Asia Pacific, ex-Japan equity, and also the EMEA equity can be kind of like form part of the core equity. But when you see the thematic can also add value and enhance your portfolio returns over the long term. Looking at this 20 years data here on the annual return and also volatilities, right? You can see here that the water thematic represent in the blue bar here that has been very attractive and in fact comparable Sharpe ratio to the tech. So I guess right now the historical performance of water equity look attractive, and the question now is, is water or rather the global water equity remain an attractive investment opportunity for us right now, right? So the short answer for this is definitely a yes. So I will basically share in the next few slides on the key driver and key catalyst that for us that we strongly believe that will continue to drive the performance of the fund. Number one is really is on the key driver. Number one is really on the demand for clean water outpace supply. According to United Nations, that the global population is expected to go up from 7+ billion now to an estimated of around 9 billion by 2050, just like 30 years from now. And over 6 billion of the world population is expected to concentrate in the urban area. And of course, we all know, right, a person living in the city will consume like more water, in fact, like 5 to 8 times more water compared to those living in the rural area. Given the growing urbanization trend is kind of like very much related or linked to the high standard of living, which also associate with rising demand for stuff like, clothing, personal products like your shampoo, or even a high protein diet, which all increase the pressures on water supply because many of these items require significant amounts of water to produce. And some interesting fact here that, do you know how much water is required to just take a 10-minute shower, and how much water is needed to produce 300 grams of steaks? All right, I guess if you think of it, many of us may not be aware that, taking a 10-minute shower requires 100 liters of water. For some of us, I think probably 10 minutes is definitely not enough. You probably like, staying in the bathroom for 20 to 30 minutes. And also producing like 30 grams of steak requires more than 4,000 liters of water to produce. So it's kind of very water intensive. Just for another example, like cotton t-shirt that probably you and I have more than 10 or 20 pieces of cotton t-shirt in our wardrobe, is required 3,000 liters of water to produce. And I'm not sure whether is there any coffee lover here that a cup of coffee, we probably drink one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and this cup of coffee, also very water intensive, where you need 160 liter water to produce. So, and not only about how much water you need to produce all these products, right? It's also about the quality of water that we need. And also good quality drinking water that is also in high demand. And look at our house now, most of us will probably have one water purifier near the kitchen sink, and those staying in landed will probably have another one outside the house to filter and also provide cleaner water to our daily use. And in the city, as you can see here, that water catchment areas are drastically decreased. We clear the forest, we build more concrete building, and making it very difficult to accumulate enough rainfall to actually meet demand. So clearly the demand for clean water really outpaced the supply. And guess what? Just 2.5% of the total water on earth is considered fresh water. The rest is all seawater. And out of the 2.5%, only 0.025%, you hear me correct, is only 0.025% is accessible surface water. The rest are all underground water. So as you can see, that demand in water and clean water is in rising trend, and the supply remain kind of like static. So investment really indeed needed to channel towards solving this pressing issue. And this make water-related product solution a very interesting growth market. And I think this is an extension of what I am talking about, the demand for water. As you can see from here is when we're talking about urbanization, let's look at Singapore with a population of only 5.8 billion and Hong Kong with a population of 7 million people. How much water is used daily there? 1.95 billion liters for Singapore and close to 4 billion liters for Hong Kong on a daily basis. How about Malaysia? Right, 7 billion liters of water we consume here every day. And the fact is, 7 billion, actually there is an increase in 1 billion per day compared to 2012, 10 years ago. So again, great demand in water. In fact, quality water is in growing trend. The second key driver here is really talking about the required investment in global infrastructure. We all know that water infrastructures in many countries were built many years back. The water pipes are, for example, very old. They are rusted, they are leaking now. And just give you some example that in US alone, around 20 billion liters of treated drinking water are lost every day from the water, from all those broken water main. And to give you some perspective, right, this 20 billion liters of water is enough to fill over 9,000 swimming pools. So the aging infrastructures not only result in wastage of water, but also poison risk to our health. I just give you some case study here that in 2014, Michigan has actually experienced a severe case of lead contaminants in the water system, with thousands of children actually exposed to kind of like high lead level, where it is very dangerous and risky to the children neurodevelopment. And last year, if you Google it, the victim of this crisis will actually kind of like compensate with $626 million in total compensation. And this is not only happening in US, over in Asia, where Hong Kong also experiencing a similar water crisis back in 2015, where the level of lead is found to be exceeded to the standard set by WHO. So on one hand, we see increase in world population with major infrastructure development is needed to service the rapid growth in water demand. On the other hand, we're also facing problem in the aging infrastructure that need to be maintained, need to be probably upgraded, and need to be repaired. And there is estimated of 7.5 trillion to be spent globally over the next 10 to 15 years to water infrastructure alone. This means huge potential for companies that provide solution on water infrastructure that we are truly excited on. Next is talking about tightened global water regulations. I think is a very important driver also. And water infrastructures, and particularly in the water treatment space, have moved up to the national and local government agenda as a result of the influence of regulation over the aspect of water governance. For example, the China Water 10 Plan, where 300 billion were allocated to address water pollution alone. Our neighbor China, due to its very small land size and has very limited natural water resources, so the government actually initiated a program to make sure the country become increasingly self-sufficient in terms of water supply. And this program currently only meets 30% of water demand and is projected to meet up to 55% by 2060. Just for your info, a year before our water agreement with us expired. And we see many initiatives on the US as well. The infrastructure investment and also the job in the US is a very concrete example on the drive to modernize the water infrastructure. You can see from the slide here, 54 billion is earmarked to improve the infrastructures and also reduce water contaminant. And this is by far the largest investment in water infrastructure in the country since 1970. And there are also renewed focus on consumer, like you and I, from the government and also from the regulators on water quality and also food safety standard. And the US Environmental Protection Agency is required to establish national standard for the level of PFAS in the drinking water. Just last month, EU has submitted a proposal to tackle the PFAS issue as well. And why this PFAS, so important that EU and US need to tackle, because it's known as the forever chemical because of their persistence in the environment and very harmful to our health. And the strategies of the fund and invested in company across the solution valuations that addressing the PFAS issue, including consulting firms, laboratory equipment provider, and treatment operators, serving as an example on how regulations can really be a positive tailwind to this fund. Next but not least, you can see here another key driver of water investing is none other than climate change, the adaptations to changing weather pattern. We are seeing increased occurrence in the number and also the severity of floods, the storm, the droughts, and others water-related disaster over the news as we open the newspaper, and the threat is real, right? So one example is shown here is Henan province in China. We saw a year worth of rainfall in 4 days. Pakistan last year first hit 33 million people, is the worst disaster in decades. And early this year, 90% of California under floods. It happened to us as well, if you remember that 1 month worth of rain in just 1 day back in December 2021, just 2 years away. And all these extreme weather events threaten the stability and also the availability of fresh water supply. For example, the droughts are leading to significant increase in the use of groundwater, especially from the agriculture. So as a result of the changing weather pattern, we see opportunities that from the company that offer solutions in the area like water efficiency, infrastructure and technology, and reclaiming more wastewater and stormwater, and also in the area like the smart irrigations. And last but not least, if you look at here, it's really on the innovation and evolving technology in the water space. With the rising demand in clean water, tightening water regulations, and also the need for water infrastructures, all these actually drive the innovation and also technology, where solutions and technologies need to become more sophisticated and more application in the water sector that need to be developed over time. And for example, as you can see here, the development of smart meter, and it's really play a very important role in facilitating a more efficient use of water. And traditional meters do this by simply link the usage of water and also the cost. How much you use this month and what is the cost per liter, for example. But the smart meter really extend the concept by providing more extensive real-time data rather than once reading every few months or every month. So the user of smart meter can now take immediate actions if there is any abnormal data reading that could actually caused by the leaking, and this will actually reduce wastage in the water and also reduce cost. And it's very important, especially for those industry that use a lot of water, very water intensive industry. Another example is the smart irrigations. Through the use of GPS system, the sensor, and also communication equipment, farmer and now can identify the best location to plant their seeds, and even down to how much water and also fertilizer should be applied. And again, cost saving and also improve the productivity and quality of their product with the use of this kind of technology. And other important advancement in the water space is on testing and diagnostic technology. And scientists continue to discover new chemical contaminants in the wider environment that require further investigation regarding their potential toxicity, which some of the company that we invested in really provide product and solution to address this. All in all, that you can see from this slide, there is no lack of opportunities, as the innovation and evolving technology provide very strong and solid opportunity in the water investment. Moving on, as you can see here, is really sum up on the 5 key drivers that I have covered, and all these are very compelling and continue to build the case on why investing in water now, given the resource scarcity, demographic shift, and also climate change. The demand for clean water really outpaces supply, and good thing is government around the world are focusing on creating a sustainable water supply. and required infrastructures that I mentioned, the US alone is actually have a shortfall of around 400 billions every year on the infrastructure spending, and the world is actually expected another 7.5 trillion spending over the next 15 years in actually develop the water infrastructure. Of course, tightening water regulation, strong driver as a lot of in actually provide safe drinking water to you and I, and also innovations and also upgrading in the existing system create further investment opportunity for our clients. And moving on to next slide, and I guess let's look deeper on the slide that many investors, as I mentioned earlier in my presentation, have a misconception that company in water sector very narrow and only make up, primary in utility company. In actual fact, the investable universe of the global companies are very broad with approximately 1.3 trillion market capitalization in our investment list after comprehensive and in-depth research and analyzed by our investment team. And we break the entire water value chain or the investment universe into 3 subsectors. Number 1 is the water infrastructure. Number 2, the pillar in the middle is the water treatment. And last but not least is the water utility. And there are also subcategory and sub-team within those 3 subsectors. And let's look at water infrastructure. Basically, it involves those companies that provide the pipe, the pumps, the network equipment, building, and also in industrial equipment, infrastructure services like those consultancy firms that provide advices and planning in the area. And smart meter and smart irrigation that I mentioned earlier is also in this subsector. The next subsector or the next universe that the fund actually invested in is water treatment and efficiencies. These are those companies that provide filtration solutions, the ozone and ultraviolet water treatment, testing and monitoring of water quality is also in these subsectors. And companies that have technology that detect and also remove contaminants in the water is also in these subsectors. Interesting and a very high growth area. Last but not least is on the water utility is really tools that involved in provision and distribution and clean water supply, and these subsectors are defensive in nature, tend to perform well during peak period of market volatility, and generally offer higher than average dividend yield. So as you can see here, the case of water investment really goes beyond utilities and stress across a diverse range of businesses mentioned above with exposure to the wide range of end market from consumer to industrial, really also capturing the defensive and also cyclical model across different business lines. And to understand on each of the subsector better, I'm going to walk you through on some of the stock example. Beginning with a company in the water utility space is called American Water Works. And this company is, as you can see from the slide here, is the largest public US utility company. The company provides drinking water, wastewater, and also the water reading service in North America and also in Canada, Ontario. And this company is very large and very well managed and with good execution and also ability to deploy capital into the water infrastructure improvement. And also, as you can see here, it's very active consolidator of smaller water system company where provide synergy and present ongoing opportunity for growth and allow for more healthy dividend growth. The next company is a company called George Fisher, GF. So it's a diversified industry player in piping, automotive, and also machinery and market exposure. It's addressed water infrastructure market via piping system, what we call the business scale, and it had end market exposure to some of the important long-term themes, particularly in piping related, where its recent focus on cost cutting and also efficiency has been very impressive, leading to actually high dividend on investor capital. We have a video here to show you and how they actually, what are the product solutions they are providing. I think seeing is believing. Let us move into the video of George Fisher.
Clean water on demand. is quality of life. It is a comfort we are all entitled to. Yet providing durable and safe water transportation systems that are free of leaks is a demanding task. GF Piping Systems meets this challenge with great expertise and with the appropriate products. Reliable water distribution systems must be developed all over the world. With our technology, plastic pipes can be dependably and efficiently connected, exactly the way our clients wish. Everything also flows smoothly in domestic installations, thanks to adaptable and user-friendly components. GF Piping Systems has developed an innovative push-fit system, making assembly quick and easy. Our solutions for industrial applications are just as application-oriented. Take electronic components as an example. Ultra-pure water is used here. We provide special corrosion-resistant plastic products for this type of application. Valves, fittings, measuring instruments, pipes. GF Piping Systems is one of the world's leading manufacturers of piping systems for water, chemicals, and gases. In other words, our customers expect the pieces to fit together perfectly, whatever their needs. We take advantage of such opportunities every day and can therefore offer new market applications for our products. In shipbuilding, in life sciences, in refrigeration technology, and in food production. We bring you clean water.
Yeah, as you can hear from the video just now, that is, George Fisher, or rather we call GF, they also provide ultra pure water application, and this really right on demand of the chip production in semiconductor manufacturing, which is in high demand now. You need chips in basically our smartphone, on the E&E product, and also EV and etc. So these are the company that we invested in. Next, we will have Agilence. I think Agilence is a familiar name amongst many of you, and is a leader of life science, diagnostic, and also applied chemical markets. It provides analytical instruments, software, and also services to laboratory. We in turn sell to the food and environmental pharmaceutical industry. And also we do have a video for you to look at, what Agilence is doing and how it actually managed to ride on the opportunity, especially on the tightening regulations on the PFAS.
Getting your lab up to speed with PFAS analysis can seem like a long, steep climb to the mountaintop. Researching the analysis and regulations, understanding the requirements and testing methods, choosing the right instruments and consumables, verifying sample preparation protocols, optimizing analytical methods, streamlining data analysis and reporting, and making sure you keep up with new and emerging PFAS compounds relevant to your customers can take weeks or even months. With Agilent eMethods, we've done the hard work for you. eMethods are designed to accelerate your startup time by condensing the vast amount of technical information and optimized analytical methods into a ready-to-run, downloadable digital information package. Future-proof your lab with a verified method by analyzing over 100 legacy and emerging PFAS. As a worldwide leader in chemical analysis solutions for more than 50 years and a trusted partner of environmental testing labs, Agilent eMethods leverage our expertise to give you information about the right instruments and configuration, optimized sample preparation protocols, and a detailed list of expertly selected consumables and supplies that reduce PFAS contamination. Ready-to-run analytical methods for sample introduction, chromatographic separation, detection, and data analysis. Tips and tricks for best practices across all aspects of your workflow. And application notes and other helpful documents needed to get you up and running quickly. With consumables and supplies verified for each method, coupled with the information provided by eMethods, your lab will minimize risk and effort in the design and planning of required analyses, eliminate delays caused by missing or incompatible components, Increase lab productivity with efficient protocols. Maximize profitability with fast implementation of ready-to-run methods. And our experienced and extensive team of scientists and engineers are ready to support you along the way. Gain a competitive advantage and future-proof your lab for PFAS analysis with best-in-class instruments, software, services, and consumables. Get ahead and stay ahead in your PFAS analysis with Agilent. To learn more, please visit us at agilent.com.
Remember the PFAS that, the foreign chemical that I mentioned earlier. So they are also one of the company, Agilent is also one of the company that benefit from the tightened regulations in the water qualities. Very exciting company that holding in our, one of the top 10 holding. Moving on, we have Trimble under the water treatment and efficiency subsectors. And this company is the market leaders and pioneer in the GPS data collections and use that to actually for sustainable agriculture, irrigation, and also engineering application. And their product actually utilize the integrated positioning, the GPS, the wireless, and also software technology to enable farmers to really improve efficiency and maximize the crop yield. Basically, it's like you use less resources, less water, less fertilizers, and more technical into the area that is able to actually improve the efficiency and also improve the crop yield. And also have a video on that, to showcase to you, the technology advancement in Trimble in the agriculture sectors.
One of the biggest questions farmers have about precision ag is, will it pay off? The answer is an emphatic yes. Precision ag increases your efficiency, which impacts profitability to help your farming operation grow. Here are 3 important ways that precision ag boosts profits. Save on farm inputs. Precision ag solutions help manage the flow and application of materials with high accuracy to reduce spending on farm inputs. Farmers can precisely apply inputs and track seeding information or fertilizer application in real time. Trimble's Field IQ crop input control system automatically controls your variable rate application with prescriptions and manages section control through coverage mapping. This ensures the most accurate and efficient delivery of materials for operations like spraying, seeding, planting, and fertilizing. By applying the right amount of product at the right place at the right time, you can realize significant savings on inputs, increase productivity, and reduce errors. Precision ag also helps streamline your workflows to keep your farm on track. Solutions like Trimble work orders take the guesswork out of assigning and tracking tasks, saving you valuable time. When you can easily track the progress of work happening across the farm, you'll see an increase in farm productivity that ultimately boosts your bottom line. Make profit-driven decisions. Using Precision Ag puts the power in your hands to make better decisions based on real-time farm data. Trimble's fully integrated software solutions connect your entire operation. Farmer Core software manages farming data and simplifies display setup to capture the most value from every part of your farm, while Trimble AutoSync automatically syncs data like guidance lines, fields, equipment, and operator information across all connected devices on the farm. By using these precision ag solutions, you can make more effective decisions that maximize your bottom line. Whether it's streamlining workflows, reducing over-application of farm inputs, or leveraging your data, these are some of the many ways that precision ag can help you increase your farm's profits. To learn more about Trimble Precision Ag Solutions.
Yeah, you look at this video, I think interesting that it basically can operate and also running an agriculture farming with a skill ladder in the office, right? With the GPS and apps that really improve, really saving costs and actually improve efficiency. And not only that, improve the quality of the crop yields, right? So I guess now that you will have ideas that, the water investment is not only confined to water utility. There are some of the very interesting ideas into the water treatment and efficiency, and of course, the water infrastructures subsectors. And then zooming into the target fund performance now. All right, as you can see here, the fund actually launched in 2015. As in the target fund actually launched in 2015. As you can see here, the fund actually registered a very impressive returns of more than 100% or an average yearly returns of more than 13% since the fund launched 7 or probably 8 years ago. In fact, the fund has delivered excess returns against the benchmark MSCI World over the various periods as shown in the table here. Very solid performance because the driver on this water segment is very strong. And I guess moving, touching quickly on also the holdings and also the subsectors breakdown. As you can see here, the top 10s, you don't normally see this name in the typical traditional global equity fund. The mega tech names are not found here, and that's why we believe that water investment are relatively underowned by a lot of investors, including you and I, and therefore this fund can really work well and complement well into the investment portfolio. And some of the examples that I have shown you, American Water Works, Veolia is also a utility company in French, and the share price is actually doing very well this year, and particularly because the drivers in terms of the drink, what you call it, the quality drinking water is there, and is basically kind of like insulated from the current the global market economy that is not uncertain now. And Gillian has been talked about. Aerosmith also is a company in what we call the water heater and also the boiler, and they are also supplying water and air purification product to our clients. So the international division has a very strong Chinese presence for over 15 years with local design, and also they have actually very large scale in terms of the manufacturing there. And if you're looking at the water value chain subsectors, there is a balanced location into water treatments and also water infrastructure now of around 40% each, and the utility exposure is at 90%. And the investment team maintain a consistent balanced approach in cyclical and also in defensive sector, making the portfolio very resilient against different market cycle. And I have last slide here to showcase to you the Aqua Fund is really a dynamic and diversified asset class. It cut across different end markets from consumer to industrial, from agriculture to semiconductor manufacturing. Basically, we see water as critical across various different economies. And it also cut across 3 subsectors: water infrastructure, water treatment, and also water quality, and diversified across different regions from developed to emerging country. For us, it's really an evergreen investment strategies, and our portfolio build resiliency through the defensive holding from the utility names, and also capture alpha or excess return through a more cyclical holding, mainly coming from the water infrastructures and water treatment subsector. And last but not least, the fund is very well supported by 5 long-term structural key drivers shared earlier in my presentation. And it is, number 1 is really talking about the demand for water outpace supplies. If you recall, only 2.5% of the water on earth is fresh water, and the rest is all seawater. And we know that the current water infrastructure is very old and rusted, and really require a lot of investment in upgrading, in maintaining, and also repair the current infrastructure together with new infrastructure to cater for the demand. And also we saw tightening global water regulations that actually have drive the fiscal policy into the water segments, and also tightening water regulation in terms of providing more quality and also safer water to consume. And what I think very familiar and closer to our heart is really on the changing weather patterns that actually challenge in terms of the fresh water availability. Last but not least, on the innovation and evolving technology that actually coming in to support the demand of clean water supply. And I'm done, and Yi-Hong, I think over to you for Q&A questions if there is any.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Sharon, for the very insightful presentations. Okay, now we will proceed to the Q&A session. And let's see if we do have any questions from the audience. Okay, so excuse me. So maybe we will start off with a simple questions here. So the first question, in relation to the value water chain, what do you see the growth opportunities lying ahead?
Okay, thank you for the question, a very good question. I guess given the more defensive nature in the utility sectors, which tend to defensive and work well in kind of like market volatility like that give high dividend yield. But we see really stronger growth or the alpha in the water infrastructures and also on the treatment subsectors. The tailwinds from governments I mentioned is very strong. And demand from the industrial, from the manufacturing sector side is also very strong given the advancements in the technology and also innovation in water space provide a lot of applications, product, and also together with services that help the users in saving costs and also enhance efficiency and product quality. Yeah, in terms of to the question that, where is the growth opportunity lying ahead? Between three subsectors, I would say, stronger growth probably coming from infrastructures and treatment, and utilities serve kind of like a cushion that provide defensive to the portfolio, overall portfolio.
All right, thank you, Ms. Sharon. All right, so let's get to the second question here. All right, so we believe that currently there's a lot of ESG funds that are, going around in our unit trust market, right? So is there any ESG elements when it comes to the investment of the strategy here?
Yeah, I guess ESG really a new team or the team that actually is a new drive right now for all our investors. To answer the question is yes, 100% ESG coverage for the target funds. As if you refer to our target fund fact sheet, that you can see that 100% ESG coverage. In fact, the ESG scoring of this fund is much more higher than the benchmark. So that I think that provides some comfort to our customer. The ESG is in place, and also is an Article 9 fund in Luxembourg. I think I'll probably share this slide with you, that you can see that the fund is also aligned with 5 of the 7 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the SDG listed in this slide. They are like, basically mapped into the clean water and sanitation, meet into the affordable and clean energy, industry, innovation and infrastructure, the SDG 11, the sustainable city and communities, and also SDG number 12, responsible consumptions and also production. In addition to that, you can see from here that we're able to concretely show you that the environmental impact of the water strategy. For each 10 million invested, what is the total water provided, what is the total water saved, and what is the total water treated, within the portfolio that they are holding. So yes, there is definitely ESG elements. In fact, this fund have a sustainable investment in mind. And for Malaysia, the Manulife Global Aqua Fund is a sustainable responsible investment fund. SRI fund approved by the Security Commission. That is for Malaysia context. In Luxembourg, the target fund is Article 9. Is kind of like the higher category in terms of the sustainable category. Yeah, I hope that answered the questions.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Sharon. All right, so let's proceed to the third question. And I do see that there's a few of our attendees, they are actually asking about this. So because based on the slides that we were looking at the slides just now, and we can see that there's a lot of exposure in some of the developed countries, right? So what would be the exposure in Asia market?
Let me check, give me a second. The exposure is Asian market typically like 7 to 8% for now. We have once exposure in China. The Beijing Enterprise Utility basically is a utility name that serve the entire population of Beijing. Another stock that I think, if I recall correctly, that a familiar name to us also is Koi, a consumer discretionary product that basically in terms of water segment, they actually provide like the water purification system that in high demand as well. And other than that, we have 2 stocks in Japan. So overall Asia exposure is about 7 to 8%. But I guess customer though there are more allocation into, for example, the Europe and also for US, but bear in mind that the company that we invested in, basically they are the multinational company. They are basically listed in Europe, they are listed in US, but they have business exposure all over the place, including Asia. For example, Agilian's company that I share with you, they have very strong presence in Asia. In fact, I think they have a factory here in Penang. They are very strong presence, and the revenue generate for Agilians from the China market is also very huge, in particular in terms of the pollution testing equipment. So to answer that, we have around 70% into the Asia Pac. But in terms of revenue generation, I think we believe we will easily have 30% kind of revenue generated from the Asia Pac region.
Okay, understood. Thank you, Ms. Sharon. All right, so let's proceed to the fourth question here. So I believe that some of our clients, they do concern about, like US is going to hike their interest rate again for probably another 2 to 3 times, right, in this year. So with this environment where the interest rate is hiking, does investing into like water related sectors will benefit, like our investor will get benefit from investing into water related sectors?
Oh, I think the answer is definitely a yes. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a webinar to talk about the strategies. I guess from to answer that, from a portfolio perspective, that we have balanced approach in terms of exposure into cyclical and defensive. All this while, this is always the case for the Aqua Fund. That actually will be able to really have a defensive nature when market is very volatile and market look more bullish, then we have the cyclical exposure to capture on the alpha on that. And we also look for companies that with strong pricing power, they are likely to be able to pass on the price rises in terms of, for example, the rising interest rate environment. I just give you an example that we have in the top 10 here. Aerosmith, recently they just announced on the earnings, is actually amongst the top manufacturers of water heater and water boiler, as I mentioned just now. This company also provide like water and also air purification product. And what's special about Aerosmith in this company, as you can see from the top holding in the infrastructure sector, is they really focus on R&D and innovation, especially on the energy efficiency product. Now we are talking about net zero climate change. Every one of us need all those energy efficient products, right? They are really focused a lot on all that. And that's why they also have very strong skill, means, we can produce higher quality product. And you look at the stock really went up this year. I think the simple reason is their Q4 results are very strong. That actually come out with the reason when they actually announced in their recent earnings announcement is they have strong pricing power, pass on the increase in terms of material costs to all the clients, and also strong margin. And they are also going up because the expected 2023 outlook, the guided expected outlook is strong. Another company here that it may not be in the top 10, let me see, it's not in the top 10, it's a company called Kemira. It's a company in Finland, water treatment company, is also a global leader in terms of sustainable chemical solution for water intensive industry. And they help customers to actually to improve the quality of their product and also their process, and also improve the efficiency in the use of their resources. The company also reported very strong result this month and well ahead of consensus on profitability, really demonstrate strong pricing power and operational executions. So I guess markets is volatile because of the recent kind of like the global financial noises, and also in terms of the interest rate, people are actually anticipate whether is it going to end here or going to end this year or going to end tomorrow. But I guess, buying into a strong company with strong balance sheet, very good prospect, and if there is an ability to really pass on the cost to clients, that will be very good. I guess I just want to share with you one of the slides that really showcase the track record of the fund. As I mentioned, the fund actually launched 2015 as the target fund. We do have a fund that registered in funds, same strategy, same holding, managed by the same team. All right, it actually have longer track record. As you can see from here, you know, we really share here the true blue track record because water is blue, right? As you can see here, 2018, we also experienced a similar interest rate hike cycle here. All right, very strong track record, and the fund actually, yeah, it dropped on 2018, but actually on the subsequent 2 years, it's actually outperformed very strongly. And you look at the track record as this fund registered in France, they launched 14 years ago. They deliver 14 years of positive return, 10 years of double-digit return, 9 years of outperformance in terms of outperform the benchmark, which is the MSCI World Index. And after the correction of the MSCI World Index, every year, the fund actually rebounds strongly. You look at, 2009, 2012, and 2019 respectively, they actually up 30%, 20.6% in 2012, and also like 35% in 2019. All right, and again, after the correction of the MSCI World Index, the fund rebound more than 40% in the subsequent 2 years. So I don't have kind of like a clear answer for many of the client questions that we always receiving, whether it's good time to invest or whether should I allocate more. But for us, the drivers are very strong. The challenge in the clean water supply are real and may take decades to actually address. And the water thematic team really cut across many industry and end market, right? So track record is that I think that should give some comfort for customer to allocate some money into this, right? So again, it really go back to client investment objective and your risk profile. If I'm an aggressive client, I always wanted to actually allocate some money in strategies like that with strong driver, with a proven track record. Or I hope I answered the question as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Sharon. Okay, all right. So due to the time constraint, I would say we will end our Q&A session here. So once again, thank you, Ms. Sharon, for this insightful presentation and also answering the burning questions from our participants. I believe that all of us will have learned a lot from your sharing today. So for all the attendees, if you have any further questions, feel free to send us an email at investhelp.mind@fundsupermart.com. So
yeah,
before,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and drink more water.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon. You too. All right. So before we conclude our session for tonight, we would like to remind our investors to join our upcoming webinar on 4th of April 2023, where Mr. Sean, our Client Investment Specialist Manager, will guide you on how to effectively use our platform and provide an overview of the investment product offered on FSM1, such as the unit trust, bond, stocks, ETF, and more. Please note that this webinar will be conducted in Mandarin, and we highly recommend all new investors to register on our FSM1 website and join this webinar before beginning their investment journey. And last but not least, FSM1 will be organizing 2 more physical bond masterclass seminar, which will be conducted in English and Mandarin in Johor Bahru on 1st of April 2023. In this seminar, our FSM Global Fixed Income Manager, Mr. Tan Tao Hong, will share a detailed and comprehensive overview of the key consideration and information that you need to know when it comes to investing in bonds. You will also have the opportunity to engage with our experienced speaker and bond dealers team to clear any doubts that you may have. So wait no longer and head on to our FSM1 website to register for your seats. We hope to see you there. So, and lastly, be sure to head over to our YouTube page at FSM1 Malaysia to catch the replay. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and catch up with all the replays from the other experts too. Once again, thank you very much, Ms. Sharon and Ms. Sally, and all the participants. And thank you for attending tonight's session. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.